further, and this is really interesting to note, in my neighborhood, in my household, and in fact in most communities throughout America 50, 60 years ago, the reality was that one person in the family, and in those days it was almost always the man, could earn enough money to pay the bills. Think about it. Back then, one person working 40 or 50 hours a week could earn enough money to pay the bills. Well, you tell me. How many working class families do you know who can say the same today? Not many, I expect. And the overall economic trends tell us how all of this happened. Incredibly, despite huge increases in technology and worker productivity, real inflation accounted for weekly wages for the average American worker are lower today than they were 52 years ago. Got that? And during roughly that same period, the Rand Corporation documented a massive transfer of wealth to the tune of $79 trillion, $79 trillion, going from the bottom 90% to the top 1%. In other words, virtually all of the gains from the new technologies and increased worker productivity went to the people on top, not to the average worker. Now, I am discussing this issue not just to compare 50 or 60 years ago to today. More importantly, we've got to be thinking about what the economic trends are as we head into the future, and what all of that will mean to our common well-being. Now, as most of you know, some of the very richest people on this planet, folks like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Mr. Ellison and Mr. Zuckerberg and others, are investing right now many, many hundreds of billions of dollars in AI and robotics. Elon Musk himself says that he wants to have Tesla build millions of robots. These guys are arguing, correctly I think, that AI and robotics will make the world and our economy more efficient. Yeah, but what does all of that efficiency that Musk and the others are going to bring about mean for you? Can improve your life. If the technology of the last 50 years has primarily made the very, very rich much richer, while leaving 60% of our people today living paycheck to paycheck, who do you think will benefit from these revolutionary and transformative changes being brought about by AI and robotics? Who's going to benefit and who is going to get hurt? That is a question of enormous consequence. Now, do you think that Mr. Musk and Mr. Bezos and these other multi-billionaires are making these investments in order to improve life for you and other ordinary Americans? Maybe, but I doubt it. In my view, these guys understand that their investments, these huge investments, will make them even richer and more powerful than they are right now. In fact, as some economists have pointed out, these investments will result in significant labor cost reductions as AI and robotics replace tens of millions of human workers. But it's not just economics. When we talk about our quality of life, economics is important, but there are other things as well. Will AI and robotics break through the isolation, the loneliness, and the emotional struggles that millions of Americans are experiencing now? Or will they only accentuate those problems? Now, I don't know the answers to these questions. I don't think anybody does. But frankly, I do not believe that the richest people in this world are making these investments to improve life for you and other Americans. I think they're in it to make themselves even richer and more powerful than they are right now.
There will be fewer and fewer jobs that a robot cannot do better. Okay. What to do about mass unemployment? This is going to be a massive social challenge. And I think ultimately we will have to have some kind of universal basic income. I don't think we're going to have a choice.
Universal basic income.
Universal basic income. I think it's going to be necessary.
So it means that unemployed people will be paid across the globe.
Yeah.
Because there is no job, machine, robot is taking over.
That's simply and I want to be clear that these are not things that I think that I wish would happen. These are simply things that I think probably will happen. And if my assessment is correct and they probably will happen, then we need to say, what are we going to do about it? And I think some kind of a universal basic income is going to be necessary. Now, the output of goods and services will be extremely high. So with automation, there will come abundance. There will be, almost everything will get very cheap. I think I think we'll just end up doing a universal basic income. It's going to be necessary. The harder challenge, much harder challenge, is how do people then have meaning?